So let's look at the words in this passage. There's quite a few special outlines, and we start with two there: community, CN blend I, council, CN blend, and if we add the RS to council, it becomes councillors. Decision with that disjointion. Difficulty, another special outline. Election, downward E indicator, straight down, LC, and again that disjoint N for shun. Interested, we don't have N in words that begin with INT, or at least we don't have to have. Neither do we in IND, INS or INC. We can take the N out. We've done that many times now, so it may be that you don't need a reminder, but I'm giving it you anyway. Next one is measure. We've got the Z sound in the middle, but it's just MSR, just like you would write miser. Next one, another special outline, members, and another special outline, number. Now the proper noun, oak wood. So just disjoining the W for wood. Remembering to put your little name dashes underneath, it will help you to read it back. Only is like on with an I indicated because we've kicked the L out of it. Parish, if you write it in full, it's P, then the R because there's a vowel between the P and the R, and then that S for SH. Place, no intervening vowel between the P and the L, so we write the PL blend and then the C. Present, no intervening vowel between the P and the R, so we write the P, lift the pen and then SNT written at the side of it, but quite close. Now this is an interesting one, prop. In the passage it says, prop up the council. So I've written the P for PR, lifted the pen, and there's only another P to write at the side of it. So that first outline there says prop. However, it's also the special outline for prepare. Personally, I don't think you would get that mixed up for prepare because the sense of the sentence would tell you that it's prop. So prop up the council, you wouldn't transcribe prepare up the council. However, if you want to make absolutely sure, you can put the R in, as I've done, to give you an alternative there. Next one, special outline again, public P and the big circle B. Reasons with the S inside the curve of the N, so raise the N so that the S goes inside. Remaining, I put the indicator, the vowel indicator between the R and the M. I think it's a neater outline and therefore easier to read. Resignations. Now this is an important point. The word resignations is in the title. When you have a word that's in the title, there's a very good chance that it will be repeated in the passage. So there, when you have the title before the dictation, as you do in an exam, that gives you an opportunity to decide how you're going to represent that word. Now, resignations is quite a long outline in full. So if I were doing this exam, I would decide that I was going to just put RS for resignations and just an R for resignation. Again, there's always a risk by taking a shortcut like that. But nevertheless, when you come to read your shorthand back, you have to remember that you have made that shortcut. So you have to consider the different things that that outline could say. Next one, you've got support, so SPR, and you disjoin T. The T goes like an umbrella after the R. Remember, you can't join T's and D's to an upward R. And again, we've got the word temporary. I don't think it's officially a special outline, but we always say temp for temporary, and so therefore I'm going to just use TMP for temporary. Practice those before the dictation. Now the word groupings that come into this passage. This time I've put them in the order in which they appear in the passage. So if you only want to do the first half, concentrate on that, then just go approximately halfway down. So we start with county council, borough council, parish council. We've come across county council many times, Borough Council, just the B for borough. And then Parish Council, this may be the first time that you've seen it. It's in the title, and so therefore you can think in advance how you're going to represent it. Just a P here. However, if parish was dictated on its own, you may wish to write it in full, as we did with the single word sheet. Next one, the word there, either the long T for THR or the T, the H and the R. There have been two ways of writing it. One is swift. The second one saves space on the line. The choice is yours. Next one, a number of. Then using that word the by coming straight down with the H. So many people don't use these simple, common groupings, and they are really missing a trick. So they are important because they come up so often. At the, of the, from the. Next one, in act for in fact. Now there's a lot of variations of this next one. Over the last few months. So you've got the little O for over, and that goes over the top of last. Now the word few would normally be written with the FW blend, but if we did the FW blend here, it would interfere with the T of last. So by writing the F and the W separately, it stops that interference. And then just an M for month, adding the S makes months. Loads of variations, so you could put over the past few months, over the last few weeks, over the last few years, over the past few years, etc. So it's so important. Next one, this means. Now, a few more common ones. That there are, that they have, and if they are not. You don't have to use them if you don't want. You can write them separately. Next one, at this moment in time. So at this moment, disjoined M for meant, and then I would join the M on for time. We would normally disjoin M for time. And we would either write it up on the T line, some textbooks show us that way, or we'd put it below. So if I was writing this time, I would put the M underneath this. You choose which one suits you. So my choice would be at this moment in time with the M joined on, but if you've got used to disjoining the M for time, you can do it that way. Lovely little phrase next, as you know. Now, an intersected R for require or other derivatives of that word is something that we have stolen from Pitman. The Pitman R and the T-line R are the same, just an upstroke. And Pitman use an R intersection for require, adding an S for requires, etc. So I have borrowed it for this. So is required. We have had it before. So you will require would have the R through the L of will, and so on. Next one, to have, just the V for have. Next phrase, endure for in order to. There's no need to put the to, because in more cases than not, in order is followed by the word to. Occasionally it will be followed by the word that instead. And if it is, then we put the H with the T through it after in order. So if it's on its own without anything following, it's in order to. Next one, not been, just the big circle for been. Another of my favourite phrases, I am pleased to say. You can use this for I am pleased to see, where the indicator comes straight down for the E. And there are other variations as well. I am pleased to tell you, and many more. Next one, at the end of last week. Now here I've put the K in week, but you don't have to. You can just put a W for week, an M for month, a Y for year. So at the end of last week. Next one, at the end of next month. So same principle, D for end, next, the T of next is followed by the M only for month. If it was year, it would be a Y. If it was W, it would be a week. If it was W, it would be week. Now, the next one, I've broken this one up for you. This is not the first time. So we start with this is, with the disjoined S, to save joining two S's together with an indicator, which is very slow. Follow that by this is not. This is not the. This is not the first, just a one for first, and again the M underneath for time. This is not the first time. Next one, has been able to. So you can write HS for has and keep going round and follow it with the big circle for been, and then disjoin the full A for able to. Or you can write has and the full B for been, and then able to. The choice is yours. Next one, in this way. 2 years ago. Normally you would circle 2 because it could easily look like an N and a D. But because it's followed by years ago, here I haven't bothered. If you want to be absolutely sure, you can circle the 2. Within the. Now earlier we had at the, of the, from the. Here we've got within the. We can do it 2 ways. We can put the T in or we can come straight down. If you come straight down with the H, make sure it's tall. Otherwise it will just look like within and we won't read the unless of course the sentence doesn't make sense without it. Next one, that she was. Not sure. The S must go underneath so that it's outside the angle that's formed between the T of not and the R. At the number of, who have, just using a V only for have, then ink for then think, and about the act for about the fact. So lots of nice groupings there. So once you've practiced the words and the groupings, then have a little go at the dictation. 60 words per minute, entitled Resignations at the Parish Council. First half, ready. There have been a number of resignations at the Parish Council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. The reasons for the resignations have not been made public. I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the Borough Council agreed to appoint 2 of its councillors to serve on the Parish Council as a temporary measure until new members can be elected. The next Parish Council election is due to be held at the end of next month. Part 2. Ready? This is not the first time the Borough Council has been able to help out in this way. 2 years ago, all 5 members of Oakwood Parish Council quit within the space of a few weeks, and 3 borough councillors were appointed as a temporary measure until the next elections took place. But Councillor Anne Green said that she was not sure why the Borough Council felt the need to prop up the Parish Council. She said, "Look at the number of parish councillors who have resigned, and then think about the fact that they have difficulty getting people from the community to stand for election. So why should the Borough Council support them if they are not really interested?" Once you've mastered this passage at 60 words per minute, we're going to look at the first half only, and we're going to see if we can build the speed up to 120 words per minute. So I'm going to start by dictating just a quarter of a minute at 80. Now it will stop mid-sentence, but see if you can get those first 40 words down at 80 words per minute. Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the Parish Council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining, as you know. Now let's see if we can increase that half minute at 80 to 3/4 of a minute at 80. Again, it will end mid-sentence. Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the Parish Council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. The reasons for the Let's see if we can go one step further. And this time we'll see if we can do a whole minute at 80. Ready? Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the parish council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. The reasons for the resignations have not been made public. I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the borough two more pushes to go. The next one is going to be 1¼ minutes at 80, so the first 100 words. Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the parish council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. The reasons for the resignation have not been made public. I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the Borough Council agreed to appoint 2 of its councillors to serve on the Parish Council as a temporary measure until new So we're now going to go up to 1½ minutes at 80, the full 120 words of the first half of this 60. Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the parish council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. The reasons for the resignations have not been made public. I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the Borough Council agreed to appoint 2 of its councillors to serve on the Parish Council as a temporary measure until new members can be elected. The next Parish Council election is due to be held at the end of next month. Let's build your confidence here a little bit, because sometimes we can think 80 words a minute, I can't do it. But I've done an analysis of those 120 words, and I can tell you that 88 of them have 5 letters or less in them. And of the ones that have got more than 5 letters, they are either special outlines or we've practiced them in the word groupings. So a word like counsellors, counsel is a special outline and we've only added an RS and we've practiced it already. Resignations is in the title. It's a long word, but it's in the title and we've had the opportunity to reduce it and make our own special outline from it. Temporary, we've decided to just put temp. So in other words, most of those words, most of them, we can deal with. There might be the odd word, the very odd word that we have to think about because we can't recall it because it wasn't in the list of words or it wasn't in the list of word groupings. But you've got the opportunity to go over and over and over this until you can do 1.5 minutes at 80 words per minute. Now, once you've done that, I'm now going to increase that speed to 120. Now, that's a massive jump, massive. But we're going to do it one sentence at a time, 120, one sentence at a time, and then put it all together. So, sentence 1 at 120 words a minute, 11 words. Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the Parish Council. Sentence 2, also 11 words, 120 words per minute. Ready? In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. Sentence 3, a little bit longer, 15 words. Ready? This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. Sentence 5, it's getting a little bit more difficult because there's 19 words in sentence 5. Ready? As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. Sentence 5, shorter, only 10 words. Ready? The reasons for the resignations have not been made public. Now, at that point, we have 66 words. So it's a good place to stop because we can have half a minute or just over half a minute at 120 words a minute from the top to that place. Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the Parish Council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. The reasons for the resignations have not been made public. Now, there are only 2 sentences left, but the next sentence is very long. It's 38 words, 19 seconds at 120 words per minute. So I'm going to dictate this same sentence 3 times with a little gap between. So let's have a go at it for the first time. Ready? I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the Borough Council agreed to appoint 2 of its councillors to serve on the Parish Council as a temporary measure until new members can be elected. That long sentence again. If you didn't get it that time, see if you can get an extra word this time. Starts with that lovely phrase, I am pleased to say. Are we ready? I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the Borough Council agreed to appoint 2 of its councillors to serve on the Parish Council as a temporary measure until new members can be elected. One last time on that 38-word sentence. Ready? I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the Borough Council agreed to appoint 2 of its councillors to serve on the Parish Council as a temporary measure until new members can be elected. And the final 16-word sentence in this first half of the 60, dictated at 120. Ready? The next Parish Council election is due to be held at the end of next month. And now we're going to put all that together, all that 120 words together at 120 words per minute. Don't forget, if it's beyond you, don't get despondent. Trace over your 60s. It's still good practice. If you can't get it, see if you can get to the end of the first sentence or halfway through the second sentence and keep trying until you can get more and more of the passage down. So, are we ready then? 1 minute at 120. Ready? There have been a number of resignations at the Parish Council. In fact, over the last few months, 5 members have quit. This means that there are, at this moment in time, only 2 serving members remaining. As you know, the council is required to have at least 3 members present in order to make decisions. The reasons for the resignations have not been made public. I am pleased to say that at the end of last week, the Borough Council agreed to appoint 2 of its councillors to serve on the Parish Council as a temporary measure until new members can be elected. The next Parish Council election is due to be held at the end of next month. Now, you've probably had enough for one day, so I'm going to leave the second half of this 60 until the next video. We'll work on it in the same or a very similar way, so keep working on that first half and then come back soon for the next half.